Do you like my YouTube videos? If you do, please leave a comment and actually click on the like button. And if you want, you can hit subscribe. That way you can stay up to date with all my YouTube videos. Hey, and go ahead and click that bell icon to be notified. Thanks. Take care, guys. Hey everybody, here's part 2 of the video. This is going to be the assembly of this tank. And again, we're not doing this under some big counter with all these professional lights like all these people do, because that's fake, and the average user at home, I don't feel that everyone has that setup. So like I said, you'll be sitting on the ground with you and your kids. You're going to have everything open surrounding you, and you're going to just see just how super easy it is to put together a ReptiZoo enclosure like this. Now, one thing you need to know, and I think this is pretty simple, but maybe all models don't come with a lock on the front, is you need to identify the front and the back of the enclosure. And if, let's pretend your model for some reason doesn't have a lock, maybe it's sliding doors, who knows. But when you do have a front opening enclosure, the front part does not have a second lip because the doors need to swing, and the back part has 2 lips because the glass sheet will sit in it. Also, like we talked about, there's many options when you get ReptiZoo. You can have screens on the sides, small little like quarter screens. You can have whole screens that the whole side of the tank is vented. The back panel can be one entire sheet of venting, or again split half and half. And as your tanks are smaller, the back panel can be one giant sheet of glass, or sometimes there's a partition in the middle for 2 smaller pieces. That also would allow you in the back to do a half glass, half vent. The customization is so cool and so awesome. The other thing is, it will tell you in the instructions to put the ventilation in the back section on the side, and then put the glass, 3/4 piece of glass on the front. But you can swap that. You can put the vent in the front, you can put the glass in the back. Really, it's up to you. It's how you want to do it. Same thing with the one piece. Let me grab it here. This is the piece that has the hole cut out for the grommet right here. It's going to tell you to, put this in the back left corner, but when where you're putting your tank, you can put it in the back right, you can put it in the front left, the front right. It's all the same modular type design, so it lets you do what you want to do. And the assembly couldn't be easier. It has 4 screws that it comes with the screwdriver. It has a couple posts, a couple basically partition pieces that will hold it, and everything is labeled and really awesome. So the first thing we have to do when you have this is the pre-assembled waterproof base, is it comes with these 4 of these metal posts, and there is an arrow pointing down. These posts are threaded on one end because they will screw down into the corners of the unit, which is really nice. So you can just take off the little sticker and you put the post in the corner and you just thread it on. Just spin it, super easy, nothing difficult. And then boom, it's caught, it's done. Now as you see, I am using the ReptiZoo branded gloves with the grip on the inside. This is really nice because we are working with glass here. This tank is almost all glass, and the sheets come nice and clean with no fingerprints. And you've seen it, I've seen it. If you've put together reptile tanks, you have gotten fingerprints all over the place. And one of the first things I see people do all the time after they've assembled the tank is they get out the Windex, either the blue one or the clear one, depending if they have the pet-friendly one or not, and they just start spraying down the inside and the outside of the tank. This is nice because you won't have to do that, and this doesn't hinder me taking these little 1, 2, 3, 4 stickers off the side. It's all fine. Just showing you the downside. So look how quickly I'm able to assemble this tank with ease while talking to you guys. If you've never put together a ReptiZoo tank, you get to this point, you're thinking, well, what's he going to do now? Okay. The back pieces, we have these slotted posts with a hole in them, and then they have 2 slots that the glass will slot into. Just super simple. It literally just goes, slides over, and the grooves will line up. Can't get it wrong. Boom. It's nice, thick plastic. Now the front, because the front has the doors on those corners, they've actually already pre-installed and sealed the front glass into that groove. So you don't have to worry about, oh, well, if I put these free ones on the corner, that this won't stay. So that's really nice. They also do label right glass, left glass, etc. So you can just line it up, just like what we did with the back. Let's see if I can do this from the front. Yeah. Just slot it on. Simple. Boom. And same thing with the back. One behind me here. There we go. We're going to grab it, put it in front of, like you have it opened, in front of the groove, because you don't want to slide it down behind the groove. And for right now, we'll just leave it there. Now, some of you may say, well, the glass is touching, blah, blah, blah. We need to support the sides. They're kind of going to bend in when we do this with the top frame that we screw in. So don't worry about that. If you see that, it's not a big deal. Okay, so once we have done the four corners, now we do the sides, but this is where we get to choose our configuration, I guess we'll call it, because we have the ventilated sheets. It's just personal preference to you guys as to where or how you'd like to put these ventilated sheets on. You can slide them on in the front, you can slide them on in the back, and what will happen is, because the ventilated sheet, let me show you with a side piece of glass, obviously these cannot go together, but with these little partition pieces, they'll clip on, and everything will be held together under tension, and then the ventilated piece will go on like that, and that's how you get one basically solid connection, which is nice. And same thing with the back glass, and they'll just sit here for the back middle. They'll sit either in the front or in the back third of the side, just on your preference of where you want to put it. For instance, though, this setup tells us to put them in the back, although it doesn't matter. But let's go 100% true to the instructions on this part. So yay. And then same thing, back glass is big. We'll have that partition in the middle. And these grooves are pretty deep. And then what we'll do is the top piece will come on. It also has the grooves, and it kind of traps everything, which is really cool. All right, so I'm going to get up a little bit because that means we need to slide stuff in. Excellent. Boom. And boom. And I guess in this case, I could do whichever I wanted. I'm just trying to think of where do I want to put, for me, this grommet opening for where I'm going to put the tank. And I'm going to want the grommet over on that side for where it's going to be, which is fine. No big deal. So we're going to go with just the solid sheet of glass for the side with no grommet in it. And actually, I think it goes this way. Yes. So they're not square; they're rectangular. So if you're putting it in the wrong way, it's going to be too tall on one side, and it won't fit. No big deal. Just rotate, and you're good to go. All right, that looks really decent. I don't want anything to fall since I'm doing this all alone. I'll just put a little pillow right there, and I'm going to want this vent to be in the front, so we'll have like a cross vent, because I want my grommet to be in the back corner. So if I put this in like this, the grommet will be back here. If I were to put this in like this, it would fit. The grommet would be more in the middle. Completely up to you. I want my grommet to be in the back corner. Now, to do this, we do need to close this door a little bit so I can see where it lines up. Thank you. Stay. And this looks like it's too short, which means we've put the side piece in the wrong way, perhaps. Just like this. So again, that's exactly what I was talking about, square rectangle. The grommet is still in the back side. It just was a little bit too long the way that I did it. There's probably a label on it that says, you know, this way, but what do I care about that? And, yep, we need to make sure that the door can still open. The door will close. Perfect. And we need to get this in the slot on the side. There it is. There it is. Okay, great. So the door, let's look close here. The door has this little half track here that will have it butt up against the side when it's closed, and it needs to swing in when it's opened. If you had this door all the way closed and you put the sheet in, you could put it in front of that track and then the door couldn't open because it would hit the side here. Okay. Now we'll do the back glass, which because of the size of this tank comes in 2 pieces. So we don't want to put these guys in wrong because they're a little bit longer. So I'm just going to line them up and make sure, yep, okay, this is the way they go. Great. So again, it's going to go into the track at the bottom, into the big track at the side. Very nice sturdy connection. Look, I'm not holding it. One person. We're going to put on the little middle partition piece. We're going to get that side piece and we're going to put it in. This one we're going to have to lower in because we have one in on the side already. So lowers into the grooves and slots in. Boom! Amazing, I know. I'm going to grab the top piece. Now, the top piece I've found easier, guys. I've put many of these together. When you take the screen covering out, it's just lighter, there's less pieces, and you just have this hollow rectangle. Then everyone gets the idea, right? There's grooves all around the inside. That's where the glass will line up. But also, there is a lip on just this one side here. And you have to be aware of that lip because if you put it on this way, it will grab the doors and the doors can't open. So you need the non-lip to be forward, just like on the bottom piece, the non-lip to be forward. That way the doors can open and close, swing freely. So I just kind of will drop it on there. This is how I do it. It's not lined up. And then I will go around and get the glass to slot into the tank here. Line up the corners one at a time. There we go. There's the first one. There's the second one. The larger the tank, the more tricky it is to do by yourself. It's not impossible. We're not, you know, building a skyscraper here. It's just, it is more tricky, obviously. And I just want to be super careful because I'm doing this on video and I don't want to pick this up and have the whole thing shatter in 3 seconds. Very good. So this side. Looks to be in everywhere. Except for that corner. Boom. Now it's in. And now we gotta go do the other front corner. Nice, nice, nice. Nice. Okay. We got just one corner to line up, which we can do, but we'll do when we get there. So the next step, really simple. Getting what I need. 4 screws. And this is the included screwdriver. They just go in the holes in the top corner, and we're going to screw them in. I'm just going to pause the video here while I screw these in. Alright, so all I did was literally walk around this thing and boom, 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 screw in the 4 screws. We didn't need to see it. Now, in each corner, you would see the screws. Even though this is at the very top, they actually give you 4 rubber plugs to go around and pop into the holes. So you cover the screws like that. It's a nice added touch, especially if your tank is lower, maybe not high up on a rack or something like that, where you could see this. It just these take an unfinished look and give it a finished look. So it's nice and added in. It's not stickers. These are actual rubber plugs that plug in. Now, I like to do next. They actually, I think they say put the top on next. I'm not sure, but I want to focus on the grommet next because this is when you have the easiest to work. And of course, you can take the screen on and off real easily, and you could come in through the front. But the grommet is here. And this is the grommet that they give you, and it comes in 3 pieces, and you need to disassemble it. But any type of normal fitting you would see, this will slot through the hole. This will go on the inside of the hole, and it will screw in and hold it. And this is also what's unique because there's technically a way they tell you, but they tell you with this big knob that you would turn to adjust the opening size of the wires. They tell you to put that on the outside of the tank, but if you come look on the outside of the tank here on the side, when you do that, you do have this big knob on the outside. You can actually take it and flip it if you just want to have the grommet opening on the outside instead of the knob. It both sticks out a little bit. It's completely up to you. What I've seen most people do is actually put this in like normal. So that just goes through. This will do a half a turn backwards to align the threads. And then we'll screw this bad boy on. Come on, you animal. There we go. Okay, so that's on. Now, the middle puck, it turns, it rotates, it can even come all the way out, and you're just telling it how many little wire slots you want open, the size of the wire slot. It's completely up to you. It has 1 opening, 2 opening, 3, 4 opening, and they just have 4 openings. It can come out, so if you've got big wires or something with a big head, like a temperature probe, you can feed your probe in first, then you can go back in with this and lock it up. We'll leave it off for now because that's what I'm going to be doing. So, screen mesh at the top now. This is a nice heavy-duty screen. Like most screens that go on top, it'll lock in because you'll have these little locking tabs that fold over, and they will prevent your reptile from just knocking this thing up. It does have blowouts and cutouts that you can do if you wanted to run wires out the top, but if you don't, you get this nice clean look. Awesome. And then the last thing we'll do, it's going to be on the very front of the tank, so we're going to go and get down, and we're going to look at the lock down here. All right. So, it comes with 2 keys, which is really nice. Simple lock. there is no pins in here for this type of lock. It's just twisting it. So this key is just on a wave. You could stick anything flat in there that could fit to lock and unlock. It's more for your reptile than for locking up your jewelries. And then it does come now with little door handles, little clear door handles. That way you can adhesive them to the front, which is what I'll do. That way you can open it easier, which is really nice. Okay, here we go. Perfect. All right. Excellent. So this has been me building the Reptizoo enclosure. In the last video, part 3 that I'll make later, we will show it off and we will put some stuff for a reptile in there. Hope you guys enjoyed this build. Take care, everybody. Thank you guys for supporting my reptile rescue family.